Insemmilkom u nilqakom għal programm ieħor Top Notch. Nibda sabiex nirringrazzjakom il-koll tal-li kull ġimgħa qegħdin tingħaqdu miegħi sabiex tiltaqgħu ma' atleti prominenti Maltin. Il-mistiedna li għandi fil-programm tal-lum mhix nieqsa mis-suċċessi. Hija magħrufa bħala ir-Reġina tal-Mediterran. Tipprattika it-temping bowling u għalhekk illum se niltaqgħu ma' Sue Abela. Sue Abela twildet Melbourne l-Awstralja minn ġenituri Maltin u għandha 53 sena. Ġiet Malta meta kellha 14-il sena u llum toqgħod San Ġiljan. Għandha żewġ tfal, Roxanne u Justin, filwaqt li qiegħda f'relazzjoni ma' Rick Vogelesang. Ix-xogħol tagħha huwa ta' fund accountant. Rebħet numru rekord ta' kampjonati nazzjonali, l-unur tal-isportiva nazzjonali 5 darbiet u medalja għal qadi tar-Repubblika. Permezz ta' din l-intervista nsiru nafu aktar mill-qrib lil Sue Abela li tilab it-temping bowling. Sue, welcome to Top Notch. This is the program where televiewers get to know prominent Maltese art athletes a little bit better. Your parents are Maltese, but you were born in Melbourne, Australia. How was your life there? What do you remember?
Well, I remember in Australia we always used to play a lot of sports. I used to go running and swimming. Play basketball, netball. And then in 1980, my dad decided to come here to Malta to live here forever. So we came and we used to live close to Cedar bowling, and the whole family, we took up bowling. And my dad used to play, and my mum as well, and my sister and I, we made a team, and we joined in at Cedar bowling, and from there it started my career in bowling.
So, sport was a family thing, even back in Australia?
Yes, my mother used to always take us to swimming lessons, swimming competitions as well, and running, athletics all the time. My dad was a good footballer, and we just loved, the whole family, we all love sports, we're all good at it, and we kept playing what we can, any sports.
When you came to Malta, you were a teenager, 14, 15 years old. How difficult was it for you to adapt to a new way of life?
Oh, it was very difficult because even from schooling, Australia, we were in a big school and lots of just massive. And going to come here was like a small school and not much sports to do, and everything was it was just different when we came to Malta. But we adapted, I mean, it has its good and it has its bad, and we managed somehow. So.
In the 80s, temping bowling was not a widely practiced sport. Of course, you said you lived close to the bowling alley that was back then. But how did you happen to take it up? Did you practice it when you were in Australia, or was it something that someone suggested to you?
No, I never practiced bowling in Australia. None of our family ever went to bowling in Australia. We had a friend of ours. He said, listen, come, see us. We're bowling. I think it was Silvio Anastasi. He told us. He said, come down to the alley, and we went there, and we threw a few. I joined the junior league, my sister and I, and we straight away picked it up, and we were good at it. And then we joined in the Division 1 league, and we started playing with my mum and dad. We made a team, and my sister and I. So we started from back in the 82 maybe. We started.
You mentioned Silvio Anastasi. Unfortunately, he passed away last year. He was your sister's husband, so it was like a match in the bowling alley for her. They are also prominent players. They were inducted in the Hall of Fame by the Malta Olympic Committee. How competitive were you when you were playing against each other?
Oh, when I played against my sister, we always had fun, because we didn't mind who. I don't mind if she wins, she doesn't mind if I win, but we enjoyed playing. And that time as well, there was Doris Camilleri who used to play with us, against us. So it got competitive, but it was all friendly because we used to go to MC, then it was just like one big family. Everybody knew each other, the league starts at 8:30, we used to go there at 7 o'clock. and stayed till about 1. It was fun, you know. It was one big family down at Dimsida.
Yes, I remember, you know, at that time you and Melissa were always topping the list, also with Doris, like you said. I remember well at that time because Tempin bowling started to be prominent then, because I think it was also one of the first sports that females were really good at. The new generation in your family is also making a name in the sports. Melissa's nephew Mauro, and also your son Justin, where he has already bowled 12 perfect games, apart from titles and successes. How much did you influence him to take up the sport?
No, I influenced. I have 2 children. My daughter, she doesn't like it at all. She said I used to push her too much, but my son, then I took it a bit different. I let him watch me play bowling, and he wanted to play more. And no, I did I think a good job with my son, because I took him to the States with us. Rick used to live in the States, so when he was like 13, 14, we used to go up in the summer and spend like 3 months there. And we used to be at the Kegel training center, and my son used to always be around the pros, so he used to watch them play, used to talk to them, learn a lot from them. So he had a good base there, and then we came back here and he trained a lot, and he loves the game. In fact, he's done 13 now, because he did one last week.
He did one last week.
So 13, yeah.
I missed that one.
No, Justin is very good at it, and he enjoys it as well.
How is it when you play together in mixed doubles? Does it help that you are mother and son, or is it harder than when playing with other partners?
No, sometimes it's difficult. You know, I mean, it's hard to play with him, and it's hard not to play with him. So, but I enjoy bowling with him, and we do our best. It's not easy for us to play together. So.
This is the same like when husband and wife work together. You know, I think sometimes it can be too close.
It's hard for me because I want to win so much for him, you know. I mean, I've won a lot, so it doesn't make a difference to me. But for him, I want him to get that extra medal. So I try too much, and the tension is like too much. So I have to learn to relax and enjoy it with him.
Nowadays, when your opponent is a family member, like if you're playing against your son, does this affect your game?
Yes, it does affect my game. Because, I mean, I relax when I'm playing with him. You know, I say, okay, I still want to beat him, and he wants to beat me, but I said, oh yeah, you know, let's see how it goes. And I said if he wants to win, he has to get through the best, so let him, you know, challenge me. But it's good.
Now you have a bigger problem also, because your partner is national coach Rick Vogelesang. How is it? How does it work, this? Because is it hard to separate your personal life from your training, or does he come down harder on you when he's training you?
It's hard for us at the moment, the training. Coach and player, it's hard because I'm stubborn, and he's even more stubborn than I am. So, but we make it work. Sometimes we argue on the lanes, but then we go home, we talk about it, and we sort it out. I mean, at the end of the day, we have the same ideas. It's just how we get there. It's a bit different.
I was going to ask who has the last word on this?
He does.
He's the coach.
Yes.
Does this common interest in Tempin bowling, though, help you to give more quality time with your family?
Yes, it does. I think it does, because I mean, it's something I love. I have a passion for it. He loves it as well. So, you know, I mean, we go to the bowling together. We go on trips together. We spend a lot of time, and it's something I really enjoy. So I don't think I would change it. No.
You mentioned your father. He was a sportsman. He played football. He had a passion for swimming. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago. Alfred was also your biggest fan. He used to attend all your ceremonies, prize giving. How does it feel now? Do you still feel that there's someone missing from the audience when you are, especially when it's like an award ceremony?
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's the hardest when I have these events, because he always tell me, come on, Sue, let's go. You know, he said, you know, it's not about winning or losing. Let's just go, have fun and enjoy. You know, it doesn't matter. But he was, like I said, my biggest fan, and every time he came with me, every single time. It was just amazing. He enjoyed it. He used to go because he knew everyone there. He'd meet the people, talk to them, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it.
It must have been one of the hardest moments in your life when your father passed away.
Yes, it definitely was. I mean, I was so close to him, and he made me what I am today in the sports. You know, I get my athletics from him, and he taught me so much how to compete and how to just take everything as a challenge, that I'm competing against myself, not against anybody else. You know, if I want to do better, it's just to improve myself, you know, and I'm not competing against anyone else. So, you know, he taught me a lot about sports, you know.
When did you first realize that you had a special talent for this game?
Well, when I played the junior league, I always used to win all the trophies, high game, high series, and always, I mean, 3 years, 4 years running, I was the one who used to win the most, and I was naturally good at it straight away as soon as I started playing. Because back then we didn't have any coaches. I mean, my first when I competed abroad, I was 21. It's old, you know. I mean, compared to today, kids are competing at what, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old. So I was like 21, and I went with no coach. My first tournament was in Malaysia, the World Cup, and I qualified. You had to make the cut. I think it was about 34 players, and you make the cut top 16. And I was the first Maltese that ever made that cut. You know, and like I said, I went by myself, no coach, no nothing. Yeah. So and that was the first time I said, okay, you know, I can make more of myself with this.
Browsing on the net, I have noticed that you are referred to as the Queen of the Med. How did you acquire this nickname?
Well, every year we have a tournament, the Mediterranean Games, and since it started, I think with '98, we have to qualify. We do a competition in Malta, and the top 2 men, the top 2 ladies go and compete in the Mediterranean Games. And till today, I've always come first in this tournament in Malta. Then I go abroad and I play, and I have won. I think if Malta has, if we have 43 medals, 38 medals gold are mine.
In fact, we have 41 gold
41?
medals. It's just one short of Greece,
yes.
But totally gold, silver and bronze. We are 4 more than them. And yes, you have competed in all the Mediterranean championships. Why do you think, but I mean, it's not just you, it's a team also to
yes.
get the medals.
Yes.
Why do you think that the Maltese bowlers excel so much in this sport?
Because what it is there are 4 tournaments. You play singles, doubles, 4-man team, and then you have the all events. And I think the last 8 years they introduced another one. It's called the Masters. So when we go, there's like 5 tournaments we can compete in. So you can win 5 medals. And I've won the singles. I've won maybe 18 times the singles out of 20, out of I think 35. And I've won the doubles as well. But the one I've won the most is the all events. The all events is the tournament where all the scores count. For the singles, doubles, and it's 24 games. And I had won that like about 12 years in a row. No one could cut. It's like running a marathon, you know, the end. And I've won that one like 17 times in a row. So that's the main one I have won. So I won 17 there. And on the singles, that pulled up our gold.
How do you compare our training facilities to those abroad?
Well, I think I'm quite happy with our training facilities. I mean, we have one centre, you know, but we can go down and we live close, so everyone can go and train. And we have plenty of time to train. Our training scheme is very good with the Eden Super Bowl. They have a good system, and we can train quite well.
You are considered as Malta's most prolific and successful Tempting bowler on record. You have won a record of 23 national championships, which some say is practically unbeatable. Apart from numerous international successes, what is your secret that keeps you top of the game, even though now you are considered to be a senior player?
Main training facilities are in the United States. There's Kegel, which is the top one for bowling, and I did a few training camps. I went like 3 or 4 times there. And I took my son twice with me, and that's where we learned a lot as well.
You have won 5 Sportswoman of the Year awards and was even awarded the medal Al-Qadi Tar-Repubblika, which is not something everyone gets. But what would you consider is the biggest honor, award or title that you have won?
Oh, I think the biggest one was, I think the first one, the European Championships that I won. I went to Israel and we had the European Championships, and I won gold in that. I think maybe because it was my first gold medal in Europe. That was one of the best ones I won.
And what would you consider was a low moment in your sporting career?
I don't know. Everything. I take everything good and bad. You know. I mean, maybe I had a year which I didn't. I can't say because every year I've done something good. So.
Yes, but is it like other sports? Do injuries hinder also your game?
Yes, we have. Some people go out with injuries, knee injuries, back injuries. In touch wood, so far, I've been good all the way. So.
Since you've started, you have trained under different coaches. Whom do you think influenced you and helped you the most?
Well, we had two coaches mainly in Malta. We had Christer Buck from Sweden. That's the one, he came in, I think in the 97, 96 he had come. He was the first coach for Malta. He changed the game for us. He made us a much, much better player than we ever could be. And then we had Rick. Rick came after him, so we had two main coaches.
You have to mention him.
Yes, yes.
Because you have to go home.
No, with Christer was, like I said, he was the first one, and with him I won the European gold, and I won the first another bronze medal in Europe. But with Rick now, he's kept me in the game for so long now. You know, because bowling has changed so much. The game is not like we used to know before. It's like every sport, it gets better and better. But he has new techniques, and he's with the times, and I'm always improving under him. So they're both good.
You have still to bowl a perfect game. You have come close to 199.
No. Oh, was it 3 weeks ago? I bowled the 300, the first
okay.
300.
So that's good. So,
yes.
So I think you're the first female who have
first
bowled.
Female,
To us, you're the first female. Okay, so congratulations, you have bowled your first perfect game. How was it for you?
That was amazing. I mean, like everyone says, I've won everything and I've done everything, but they couldn't believe that I did not hit the 300, you know. And it was the first game of the league, and finally, you know, I hit the 300, and it was amazing. It was really, really good.
I can understand. Were you pressured for this goal?
No, because what happened is, like you said, I had so many 299s or 297. I was just confident. I said, you know, for sure this time it's not going to get away. You know, I'm gonna do it. You know, just keep my mind there. Don't think about it. Just keep pushing it. Throw the strike. And this time I said, no, it's time, and I got it. So
especially when you said your son had done it 13 times, it was about time.
Yes, because he always tells me 12-0. Now I say it's 13-1.
Yeah. The bowling ball definitely plays an important part to the success of your game.
Yes.
How do you choose your ball, and what determines the weight of your ball?
Well, I use a 15-pounder. I am lucky because I have a sponsor. I have a bowling ball company that sponsors me. Every 3 months they give me 4 bowling balls. So they give me a list, and they give me a choice what to choose from. So I get 4 balls, 4, 8, 12, 16 balls a year, so which is fantastic. So it's
but
really
how do you have you always bowled with the same weight?
Yes. What it is, you can use 14 or 15, but I use 15, and I've been 15 for the last maybe 15 years, 16 years. I've been with a 15-pounder, and then it depends, because if I know I'm going on a tournament, you need different balls, because abroad you need maybe balls for oily lanes. Here we have more high friction, so we need more balls that skid in the back. So like now I have the choice. I have different equipment, which is a big help for me.
Everyone has idols. Is there someone that you aspire to bowl like, or maybe someone who has really impressed you by the way they play?
I mean, I've seen a lot of great players, you know. I mean, in bowling, like we had like Kirsten Penny, an English player. We have Mainga from Denmark. I mean, I love watching the ladies bowl, and I enjoy seeing their talent. And I do have a few. Like there's the American ones I like as well. Kelly Kulik, she's very good. But then you see the local ones in Europe. The women are so good at the moment. Even the young ones are coming up so fast that I just enjoy watching them play. And you know, everyone has their own style in bowling. Everybody. So, you know, you pick something, okay, you say, I like that, maybe I can put that into my game, you know.
Yes, you mentioned the local bowlers. In fact, even when we have the National Sport Awards, Tempin bowling features always in the finalists, and in the youth section. Also, these past 2 years, the female youth, Sarah Schwirab, and she was also second in the grown-ups, in the Sportswoman of the Year in the same year. So we can't say we lack local talent for the future in this game.
That's true. That's thanks to Rick Rogerson. He's done a great job with the kids. I mean, he's come up with the National Sports School, because we're so lucky that in Malta we have the National Sports School, and we have a group of bowling kids there. Like Sarah comes from there, Matthew Margaro, her brother Edward comes from there. So those kids, they're so lucky they can train and bowl at the same time and do the schooling, that the game has improved a lot, a real lot.
Of course, it's like being semi-professional, you know, when you're doing it. And it helps also because bowling is not a cheap sport to practice.
No.
And when they are young, especially, I think it will be a bit hard on their parents. 2 years ago, you were introduced to something different. You were introduced to unified sports. Special Olympics through Anna Kalleja set up this program to have a bowler also for the World Championships that were held recently. What is your experience with this?
Well, Anna Kalleja wanted, she has this Philip Kurpetta who's in the Special Olympics. She wanted us to take him, to train him and to bring back a medal at the sports Special Olympics. So she asked Rick to train him. We had like a year and a half to train him. So he trained with Rick, and I went one better and I put him in my bowling team, so he'd get more experience playing with unified players. And in 1 year, we broke him down and we got him to a better player. He went to the Abu Dhabi Special Olympics. He came back with a gold. And now, 2 weeks ago, he played with the mainstream bowlers, and he qualified, I think, top 24. It's been a long time since a male has made the top 24, and he made it this time. It was a big success for him. So,
how do you feel about this?
Proud. I'm really proud of him, because I know it's not easy for him, because he gets very nervous, and he went there by himself, because, I mean, he didn't have any... Rick was there, but doing the live streaming, so he was helping him on the side. But he did amazing, that he can go. I think he's the first Special Olympic player that played with the mainstream players. So that's history in itself.
By now, our televiewers have understood that you have attained a lot of success, but surely there must be something that you aspire to do. The bowling, the perfect game, you've done it now. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, I think I've reached and I've done everything in my career now. And now I'm just going to keep playing till I can. Now I play a few senior events, which I'm going in January. I'm going to Austria to represent Malta. So hopefully that will be another success. But I mean, I just enjoy playing and keeping fit and enjoying life.
Although bowling is your life,
yes.
Do you have any other hobbies or interests?
I run as well. I like to run. I take part in some marathons here and there, 10K runs, which I enjoy it. I think in March I'm going to Rome. I'm going to do the half marathon there. I'm with the ladies running club as well, so we do some running and I enjoy it.
You're still top of your game, even though there are a lot of upcoming young bowlers. In what situation would you consider retiring from competitive Tempin bowling?
No, I think I won't be able to play anymore. Because I always said, like I said 2 years ago, I said I was going to retire. But I said, what for? Just keep pushing it, keep enjoying it as long as I can. So maybe I have another good 3-4 years. So I'll just keep pushing it till then.
The sport has always been considered as quite an expensive one, like we have already said, and maybe one for an elite crowd. Do you think this is still the case?
I mean, I think any sport is expensive, whatever you do. I mean, if you take like horse racing is expensive as a sport. I mean, running, you still need to do your equipment. I think everything has its expense.
So maybe I think it's considered to be more expensive because training costs. It's not like...
I mean, we have a good deal with the bowling. Us, you know, I mean, take shooting. Shooting is expensive as well, you know. I mean, but we manage. I'm not saying it's not cheap because I mean you have to buy the balls, you have to buy this, but that's everything, you know. So whatever you do today, nothing is cheap. So I mean, our bowling balls cost, our shoes cost, but if you enjoy it, you do it. So.
Many people enjoy temple bowling as a nice way to spend time with friends and family, and you know they usually go out in the evening. But do you think that people who are taking up temple bowling seriously are on the increase? Do you see more young men and women every year increasing in this sport, or is it still quite a small crowd?
If we go back like maybe 10 years ago, we were on the increase, you know. I mean, bowling's always up and down. We had more members before. We lost a few members on the way. At the moment, I think we're at the lowest with the members. We have maybe 20 top bowlers that play tournaments, and that we have maybe 300 members, so it's not a lot. But competing-wise, we have maybe good 25 players that compete. So we would like more players. I mean, now, like the National Sports School, they have an open day, so the children can go there, and if they're interested, they can join bowling and go through the school and come and learn to play bowling. And if they're interested, they can come like Sarah, like Edward, like Matthew. Now we have Caden and Dwayne Zara. They're all at the school, and they're all coming up. I mean, we can teach you how to bowl, so that's the easy bit. You know,
you need to throw the bowling ball. Would they need to practice like any other sport so that they are more to up their game?
Yes, they're always physical sport if they do a little bit cardio, and it always helps, and then nutrition-wise as well, especially if they start at a young age, it always helps, always. I mean, like me, I love to go to the gym as well. That's why I like to run as well, keep fit for bowling, because with bowling you need all the stamina as well, because when we compete, like if we go to the Mediterranean Games, you got 5-6 days competing, you know, it's like 5 hours. It takes us like 5 hours sometimes to play 6 games, so it's quite long.
Thank you very much. I think our televiewers now got a better picture also of who is Sue Abela, apart from bowling, and I wish you luck in all your future competitions.
Thank you very much.
Naħseb li taqblu miegħi li l-intervista li kelli llum ma' Sue Abela kienet waħda mill-aktar interessanti. Passoltu nirringrazzja lil Charles Girxi tal-filmati u nagħmel appuntament magħkom għal nhar it-tnejn li ġej fuq il-stazzjon Malta Stars għal programm ieħor Top Notch Melita Channel 614.